Hey guys, it's Jason. I'm back making more reviews. I took a few days off from making reviews because I was feeling sick for a while, having really bad coughs and a runny nose. So I really didn't have the energy to unfortunately see Frankenstein in theaters, so I had to wait until it came on Netflix to watch it. But now that I'm all better, I am ready to get back to making more reviews. And I also gotta let you know I have been changing the background a bit where you see different posters behind me. And I'm still rearranging some of the background behind me, so if you see something that's moving around, it's because of that reason. And now that I got that out of the way, we can now talk about Frankenstein, directed by Guillermo del Toro, and it is a new take on the Mary Shelley story. And this film is about Victor Frankenstein, played by Oscar Isaac, a very brilliant but egotistical scientist that's trying to bring people back from the dead. He later creates a monster and brings it to life, but then things go bad for him once we learn more about what really makes a monster and what really makes a human. Yep, we have another Frankenstein adaptation, and we've had a lot of those, like Young Frankenstein, Frankenweenie, I Frankenstein, Victor Frankenstein, last year's Lisa Frankenstein, and of course, the original Universal monster film with Boris Karloff. So we've had a lot of those, but this one is different because it is directed by Guillermo del Toro, who is one of the best visionary directors of all time, where a lot of his films are visually stunning, with movies like Pan's Labyrinth, The Shape of Water, which got the Oscar for Best Picture, his two Hellboy films, and his animated take on Pinocchio. So because of del Toro's work, I was pretty excited to watch his take on Frankenstein, and this movie proves that he is once again talented at creating a visually stunning movie. This is an incredible looking movie where you get a lot of beautiful shots of characters that are just walking, or you just see shots of Frankenstein's monster being created, where there are times where this film looks like a painting. And what also really helps is with the production design, with the costumes, the sets, and the makeup, giving this a very 1800s look and feel to the tone and for the atmosphere. That's also something that del Toro is really good at doing, having great makeup for his creatures in all of his films and making them look cool and realistic. When it comes to the makeup, the costumes, the sets, and the cinematography, this film looks incredible. I liked Oscar Isaac as Victor Frankenstein. He makes the character egotistical like he's supposed to be, but he also makes the character more sympathetic. And what I mean by that is that you get to learn a little bit about his backstory that does flesh him out as a character, where you get to learn more about his childhood and the issues that he dealt with his father, where you do get to understand why he is determined to bring people back from the dead, but it can also get into his head, making him kind of a jerk. And that's kind of what he is in the Frankenstein lore. He's an egotistical jerk, where in this film he can be a jerk and egotistical, but it is for good reason, where in other adaptations you don't really get much of a reason for why he's like that until this film, at least to my knowledge. I haven't seen all the takes on Frankenstein, like I haven't seen the Robert De Niro one, and this is definitely one of Oscar Isaac's best performances, and I'm a fan of his. Almost everything I've seen him in, he is fantastic, and that goes with this film as well. Another person I thought was really good in the film was Jacob Elisu. I am sorry if I got that name wrong. I thought was really good as Frankenstein's monster. He makes the character very sympathetic and interesting, and we get a lot of scenes with him in the second half of the film where he's just learning more about life and why he has to live through it, and that got me very interested, and that's one of the things I love about the Frankenstein character from the Frankenstein lore, where you get to see Frankenstein's monster learn more about life and you see him try to figure out what's going on around it. Now this movie does something a little deeper than some of the other Frankenstein adaptations, at least the ones that I've seen, where the story is a little more deeper than those versions. And what I mean by that is that it's supposed to show how a character is trying to be better than the other character and why it's supposed to be a huge deal for them to do this goal. And what I mean by that is that it's really about Victor Frankenstein trying to be better than his father because he didn't have the greatest history with him. So he tries to create this creature and tries to be a better father figure to him. But then things, of course, fall apart when some of the characters in this film start to realize which is really the human and which one is really the monster mentally. Now, there is one big change that does happen halfway in the film that did catch me off guard when it happened, is that we get a different perspective on what a character is talking about after another character gave their perspective on what's going on in the main story. And that can kind of throw some audience members off, but for me, I didn't mind that change. I liked it. It actually kind of made sense for the main story. Sure, it did kind of feel like it was taking a detour from the main story, but for me, I thought it made sense for the story. I thought it felt like it was a good way to get us to understand with what these two characters are talking about. That being said, it does lead to some scenes that do drag at times, where it feels like it's taking too long in some scenes that don't really matter, where it can kind of make some audience members feel a little bored, where they're like, okay, this is going on for too long, let's move on to something else, like something else going on with the main story. And that's my only issue with the film, is that the pacing can go off and on. It does feel like it does take a detour for other things that don't really matter, but this still turned out to be a really good movie with good acting, great makeup, great production design, really good sets, where this still turned out to be another great Guillermo del Toro film and one of the better takes on the Frankenstein story. If you have not seen this film, I do recommend it if you missed it in theaters and decided to watch it on Netflix. I'm gonna give Frankenstein an A. So guys, if you have seen Frankenstein either in theaters or on Netflix, what do you think about it? Do you think it's a great take on Frankenstein, or do you think this is one of the weaker takes? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you liked this video, then please leave a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing, because it helps my channel grow. Hit the notification bell so you know what other videos I'm posting. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.